Hi guys, welcome back to yet another video. This is going to be focused on grade 12 English, home language paper 1, and we are continuing with our November 2022 paper. In this video, we'll be focusing on one section only, which is the comprehension section of the video, of the paper, sorry. Section A, comprehension, question 1. Reading for meaning and understanding, and it says read text A and B below and answer the question sets. Text A, this is the title, The Age of Intimacy Famine. Like most humans, I want intimacy, but as a developmental psychologist, I consider intimacy as a fundamental human need. Intimate moments are often the touchstones of a rich human experience, yet millions of people worldwide are isolated and lonely, woefully lacking in the meaningful and diverse social experiences that help support emotional and physical health. As modern life has grown more distant throughout technological innovation, our opportunities for deep, intimate moments have dwindled. The pandemic has only exacerbated this trend, sending many of us deeper into our online worlds. This has left many of us starving. We have entered an intimacy famine. Though the pandemic might have accelerated our feelings of social deprivation, we were already on this course, staring at our phones as if they held the answer to our woes. And ironically, perhaps they do. My phone is probably the most demanding entity in my world. I have taught my students that responsiveness is one of the crucial elements of parenting, and one of the most important things you can do as a parent is to nurture a child. Hence, through my responsiveness to my phone's demands, I have nurtured it as well. But it is not only my responsiveness that has solidified our relationship. I carefully wipe its screen to remove smudges, social grooming. I carry it with me everywhere I go, either in my purse, hand, or pocket, skin to screen bonding. I get nervous if I cannot find it, separation anxiety. We are bonded. This relationship has not gone unnoticed by others in my orbit. Since 2016, researchers around the world have found some consistent trends in the ways in which technology is interfering in relationships. Specifically, people sometimes choose to interact with their phones over humans in their lives. This can cause conflict and jealousy. This, in turn, relates to lower levels of relationship satisfaction, and it also compromises intimacy. Why might we feel so rebuffed when someone chooses to interact with their phone as opposed to us? According to the theory of symbolic interactionism, our interactions with others are laced with messages, and those messages help us determine our role in that person's life. When people elect to attend to their phones rather than to us, it sends the signal that the phone is more important than we are. Even if this is only a momentary experience, it can feel like rejection, registering as a relationship cost. Our decision to stay in a relationship involves constant evaluation of the costs and benefits of that relationship. Essentially, we are keeping tally of our pluses and minuses for our partners. And to stay invested and committed, a balance must be struck. From a larger societal standpoint, phones and technology use may also be causing discontent. Since the early 21st century, there has been much media attention directed to the research of psychologists Jean Twenge and colleague. Their studies have demonstrated a rise in rates of depression and anxiety corresponding to the increased rates of technology use amongst young people over the past decade. According to the researchers, technology certainly helps people form relationships, yet now they are sitting in their bedrooms and connecting with others online. They are missing out on the face-to-face interactions that help keep them happy and feeling socially connected. Even worse, going online and on social media is making them stressed, lonely, and depressed. As humans, we spend a good amount of time thinking about what other people think. Although this is not meant to be a controversial proposition, I'm sure what some of you are saying to yourself, no, I do not do that. Or I don't care about what other people think. This is understandable. However, it is absolutely normal to think and care about what other people think. It is a sign that you are attuned to your social surroundings. More than that, you need and care about people and their feelings. You are attached, and attachment to others can help us weather all kinds of storms. This is why I would never propose giving up your smartphone or doing a phone detox. Instead, accept your attachment to your phone for what it is. You are clinging to a lifeline that connects you to important people in your world. For some, the shape of intimacy is morphing so much that the drips they get through text and social media are enough to sustain connection. For others, in-person interactions are craved. But for all of us, we need to strike a balance, letting our daily technology drips supplement and facilitate deeper in-person moments. And whether we are texting our friends or meeting a loved one for dinner, it is our desire to connect and our vulnerability once we get there that are the makings of an intimate life. Okay, and this is text B, Dilbert. Okay, frame 1, we see there is Dilbert laying on like a couch thing or like a bed, I guess. It looks like he's at therapy. And he's saying to the therapist, I've been falling in love with my phone. Frame 2 says, it entertains me. It knows where I am. It responds to my touch. It never judges me. And then the therapist says, so it's like a woman to you. Way better, he says. Are you even listening? Okay. Then we have our questions. Question 1.1 says, right? Refer to paragraph 1. Why does the writer consider intimacy a fundamental human need? You go back to your to your paragraph 1 and maybe read from where it talks about okay. I consider intimacy as a fundamental human need. Intimate moments are often the touchstones of a rich human experience, yet millions of people worldwide are isolated and lonely, woefully lacking in the meaningful and diverse social experiences that help support emotional and physical health. So your answer is in this paragraph. You just need to find it or take the things that are said in this paragraph and create or formulate your answer from there. So an answer like intimacy is the basis of human experience and supports emotional and physical health would be a correct answer. Okay, let's go to question 1.2. It says, explain your understanding of the expression, sending many of us deeper into our online worlds, in line 8. Okay, let's read the whole paragraph too, to get context. As modern life has grown more distant through technological innovation, our opportunities for deep, intimate moments have dwindled. The pandemic has only exacerbated this trend, sending many of us deeper into our online worlds. So this could mean that many of us have created our own worlds online where we interact with people. So maybe your answer could be relating to something like this or similar to this. People refer to engage on virtual or digital platforms. So through social media and other messaging apps, people avoid face-to-face encounters. So when people are connected, it's easier for people to connect over phones and social media than it is face-to-face. So with the pandemic, people were forced to not interact face-to-face, thus forcing people to go deeper into their online worlds and connect with people remotely. Okay, refer to paragraph 3. Oh, this is question 1.3 says, refer to paragraph 3. Account for the single line paragraph. Okay, if we look at this paragraph, let's read it. It says, this has left many of us starving. We have entered an intimacy famine. The fact that this line alone is written like alone, it doesn't have other lines. It's not part of a paragraph. It's very isolating, which relates to the message of this comprehension text. It's about how social media and technology can cause us to be isolated and be in an intimacy famine. Okay, it emphasizes the impact of the lack of intimacy. It highlights the writer's argument that people are devoid of close human connection. It reinforces the link to intimacy famine, a metaphor in the title. All of these relate to the reason why it is being isolated. It's written alone. It can be a form of isolation, which is linked again to the whole purpose of the text and the title of the text. Okay, let's go back to question 1.4. Discuss how the diction in paragraph 5 reveals the writer's relationship with her phone. Okay, let's go to paragraph 5. Okay, this is where the writer is talking about being a responsive and nurturing parent, and she's saying that, or he or she is saying that they have taken on those traits or those desirable traits of the traits that they think a parent should have, which is being responsive and being attentive, and they have been responsive and attentive to their phone. It says here, I have nurtured it as well, but it is not only responsiveness that has solidified our relationship. I carefully wipe the screen to remove smudges, so social grooming. She's taking care of the phone as if she's taking care of a child. I carried it with me everywhere, either in my purse, hand or pocket. Skin to screen bonding. It's usually with a mother and a child. They have to do skin to skin bonding, especially after birth. So this is being used in relation to a phone. I get nervous if I cannot find it. Separation and anxiety. Usually a mother and a child, or a parent and a child, when either are separated from each other after bonding for a while, they tend to have separation anxiety. Okay. Let's look at the next question. Question 1.4. Discuss how the diction in paragraph... Okay, we've already done that. Question 1.5. Refer to paragraph 7. Discuss how the theory of symbolic interactionism may be used to explain the loss of intimacy in a technological age. Okay, the theory implies that the underlying messages when we interact with someone, physical cues that are obvious with face-to-face encounters when we interact with our cellular phones instead of a person. We send the signal to that the recipient is less important. The theory sheds light on the relationship cost caused by the dominance of cellular phones. Comment on the paradox in paragraph 10. A paradox is a contradiction. So let's read paragraph 10. According to the researchers, technology certainly helps people form relationships. Okay, so we know that... Okay, let's just continue reading. Yet now they are sitting in their bedrooms and connecting with others online. They are missing out on the face-to-face interaction that helps keep them happy and socially connected. Even worse, going online and on social media is making them stressed, lonely, and depressed. So the paradox here, I would say, in my opinion, is that cell phones are regarded as, or technology is regarded as, something that is causing us to go into an intimacy famine where we do not connect with others around us, but in the same sense, it helps us connect to other people. And another thing that could be a paradox is that people use those phones to get in contact, but when they are together, they are focusing on their phones and interacting with others. So maybe your answer could be something like, while technology enables connectivity, the connectivity is online and lacks face-to-face interaction, which is necessary for authentic relationships. The purpose of connecting with others online is to find intimacy. However, there is a loss because the possibility of physical intimacy is abandoned for the sake of online intimacy, which then leads to both loneliness and depression. So if you say anything around those lines, you are on the right track. And then we're on question 1.7. Critically discuss how the writer develops her argument in paragraph 11. As humans, we spend a good amount of time thinking about what other people think. Although this is not meant to be a controversial proposition, I'm sure that you... Okay. I think here, this is where the writer is talking about how humans think or want to believe that they do not need, they are not seeking the approval of others, which is not entirely true, because we live in society and we are constantly looking for approval one way or the other, whether it's academic or it's within our looks or within our money or the social circles that we're in around. We want to be approved of or accepted. So the writer here is encouraging us to not deny that we want the approval, but to accept our attachment to approval and our attachment to others, right? And the writer is also saying that in this age that we are living in, it is not wise to go on a social media or a phone detox, because that is the ways in which most of us communicate. So maybe your answer can look something like this. It can say, the writer emphasizes that human beings need approval, despite their claims to the contrary. Her argument is further strengthened by the repetition of aside in parentheses and care. Finally, she acknowledges that technology is needed to stay connected to those who are significant to us. This is, if you would write something close to that, you're on the right track. Then we go to question 1.8. In your view, is the final paragraph an appropriate conclusion to the paragraph as a whole? Substantiate your response. Okay. The final paragraph. For some, the shape of... yes. Okay. This paragraph is that paragraph that speaks about how the little interactions that people get online is enough to sustain a connection. Social media or on technology can be used to connect to people, to foster those in-person interactions. So I would say yes, it is a good way to conclude. And also, your answer could be something like this. The concluding paragraph links to the article, inviting the reader to question whether we are connected or isolated socially. It sums up the writer's view that we can strike a balance between the use of technology and maintaining social relationships. She succeeds in convincing the reader that we need to acknowledge our need to connect and to accept our vulnerability in order to achieve intimacy in our lives. If your answer is close to something like that, then you are on the right track. Then it says, questions for text B. 1.9, what does frame 2 reveal about Dilbert? So let's go to the cartoon. Frame 2, it says, Dilbert says, it entertains me. It knows where I am. It responds to my touch. It never judges me. Okay, maybe it can reveal to us that Dilbert is obsessed with his phone. or he loves his phone for reasons that it entertains him, knows where he is, it responds to his touch, and it never judges him. Maybe he's dealing with some kind of lack in his personal life when it comes to those different areas of his life, of his life, entertainment and people's responsiveness to him, or their interactions, that him not being touched or something like that. And it never judges him. So maybe he's being judged by others. Okay, it reveals Dilbert's self-isolation and his obsession with his cellular phone. Okay, question 1.10. Comment on the satire evident in the cartoon. Okay, so what jumps out at me is the fact that Dilbert went to therapy, his therapist is a woman, and he's telling this woman about how he's fallen in love with his phone. It entertains him, it knows where he is, it responds to his touch, and it never judges him, which is that maybe he prefers interacting with his cell phone over the human beings, which is fine. But what's weird that his therapist is a human being. Anyway, then the therapist, who is a woman, now jumps to conclusions and says to him, so it's like a woman to you. And he says, no, way better. Are you even listening? So to me, what stands out to me is that Dilbert is expressing his feelings to this woman, and she is not even listening to him, in a sense that he's even asking, are you even listening? So that further proves his standpoint that the cell phone is better than a woman, because the cell phone was going to listen to him. Okay, maybe if your answer is something close to this, your answer can be something like this. The cartoonist satirizes the apparent failure of human relationships. Dilbert feels that the relationship with his cellular phone is much more beneficial to him than a relationship with any person or woman. Society's attachment to technology is illustrated by Dilbert's antisocial behavior. The psychologist's assumption in frame 3 that Dilbert is referring to a woman in frame 2 possibly satirizes the stereotypical role that women are seen to play in relationships. So if your answer is close to that, or it sounds that, or you worded it's the same thing but worded differently, then you are on the right track if you got the gist of what they're asking you. Okay, questions on text A and B. Refer to both text A and B. Does text B support the title and paragraph 6 of text A? Justify your response. So does that? Does text B? Okay. The title, which is The Age of Intimacy, Feminine, and also paragraph 6. Yes, I would say because of what it's saying. Text B, the cartoon strip, it is based on the fact that Dilbert prefers his cell phone, or interacting with his cell phone, rather than a woman, because he says, way better, are you even listening? So to him, it's better than a woman, so he'd rather be interacting with his cell phone. And here in paragraph 6, it talks about researchers has found a trend in the ways that technology is interfering with relationships. People choose to interact with their phones over human lives, or humans in their lives. So yeah, and it causes conflict and jealousy, and lowers levels of relationship satisfaction, and also compromises intimacy, which is something we can see in the way that Dilbert speaks about his phone, that it is better than a woman, which relates to the lower levels of relationship satisfaction. Okay, but if your answer is close to this, then you are on track. If you said something like, you can either say yes or no. Okay, if you say yes, then it has to sound something like this. In paragraph 6 of text A, research findings are presented. Technology interferes with relationships as people prefer interacting with their phones rather than humans. This is effectively conveyed in text B when Dilbert opts for a relationship with his phone rather than a person. Furthermore, Dilbert and his counselor cannot communicate effectively, causing a misunderstanding. The feminine of intimacy is evident. If your answer is like that, then you are correct. Or you could say no, or you say Dilbert is totally satisfied with having a relationship with his phone. He does not value having relationships with human. This contradicts the message of paragraph 6, where the use of cellular phones is seen as purely detrimental. Dilbert appears not to suffer from conflict and jealousy. Intimacy famine does not affect him. Depends on how you look at it, and whether you answer yes or no, you have to justify it, and your justification has to be relevant to the text and needs to correlate with what they are asking you and what is presented in both texts. Remember that wherever you have to justify, make sure your justification correlates and it is relevant. And that is the end of section A. And that is the end of this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.